like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have your self to blame, y'all. Cricket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop. Until you get your mouth off LGBT. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yeah, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, bet that. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me, man. I'm trying to let y'all know what's going on, man. I think I was on mute the whole time. I think y'all can hear me now. Salute everybody. Yeah, y'all can hear me now. I think they can hear me now. All right, so look, man. Bro, so everybody knows what happened. My bad, y'all was on mute. Everybody knows what happened. Brother, you a troll, man. I'm going to block you. Hold on. I know you a troll, dog. You out of here, bro. You a troll. So basically, you guys, what happened was is this. Zero. What happened is y'all know this guy on the screen. He's the pastor Marvin Winans, right? Now, his church went viral because there was a video. No, I see juntos. Hold on. There was a video that went down in his church over a $1,200 donation, right? So he's facing major backlash, and according to his members, his now once packed church has been noticeably empty in the recent weeks, man. Now, 2 weeks ago, that viral video I told y'all about, it showed this pastor scolding a woman during service after she donated $1,200 instead of $2,000 he reportedly asked for. Now, the clip sparked outrage online, with many accusing the pastor of embarrassing the woman publicly and prioritizing money over the ministry. Right? Now, the video was circulated widely online, shows him addressing a member later identified as Roberta McCoy. Now, in the footage, he questioned her for giving less than the amount he requested during what church members call a special giving line. Now, the tone of the exchange and the fact that it happened in front of the congregation immediately caused outrage online. Thousands of users criticized the pastor for what they viewed as prosperity preaching gone too far. Now, after the video went viral, she went on local Detroit news to share her perspective. She explained that she had planned to donate $2,000, but it could only give $1,200 that day due to personal financial reasons. Instead of receiving understanding or compassion, she said she was met with public criticism, something that left her feeling humiliated and disrespected. Now, basically, Miss McCoy said she was hurt by how the situation was handled, especially because her intention had been to support the church. She maintained that the amount she gave was significant to her, and it came from her heart, right? Um, she even posted things online. Now, after that controversy, she claimed she was later asked by church leaders to apologize to the pastor, even though she had originally sought an apology for how the matter was handled. After initially offering an apology, she later changed her mind and withdrew it, saying she no longer felt responsible for what happened. Now, Mrs. McCoy and other attendees have since stated that attendance at Perfecting Church, Winans, Detroit megachurch has noticeably declined. Now, several commenters online have echoed these claims, saying that the large sanctuary has appeared half empty in recent live streams. And while some publications can't independently verify the current attendance numbers, the perception among viewers is that the controversy has hurt the church's public image. People have been saying, "Did you see the empty seats on Sunday at 10:45?" People are appalled and tired of being mistreated in churches. Do you know what would bring people back to church in great numbers? I think seeing the human side of a pastor. I think that if they saw a pastor who was not prideful but who was humble like Jesus, and just said he was sorry for the offense, I think that will bring a lot of people back to churches all over the world, one person wrote, right? I, Roberta McCoy, stand in faith and give this letter in unity to those who never received your apology for church hurt. I'm sorry, right? Now, social media users have been outspoken about this, with many calling the pastor's behavior disappointing. Others have described the viral clip as an example of how churches can lose sight of their spiritual mission when focusing too heavily on money. Still, some longtime members have continued to support him, insisting his intentions were misunderstood and that his work in Detroit community speaks for itself, right? Now, basically, from what I'm hearing, the pastor was saying that he, didn't mean for it to be like that, that they took it the wrong way, you know. And here's my thoughts on this. And I'm going to say this to everybody. When they say something to you about the church, right? The, the good book says, first of all, come as you are. That's for one of the first things it tells you, to come as you are. And the second thing, right, is in the good book it say that, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of people with this tithes and offerings thing, they ain't being real with that. I even have to say, even myself, over my lifetime, I haven't done enough personally, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. You're supposed to give a percentage of your earning, right, to the work of God, right? Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, in the good book it says that, you know, one man was told to go give all your riches to the poor. Give all your money to the poor. All of it, right? And I'm going to tell y'all this right now, and I'm just going to be honest with y'all. How many people in here would give all their money to a person who has nothing? How many people in here would be obedient and do that, right? I'm not saying give it to the pastor. I'm not saying give it to the, I'm saying giving it to people who are less fortunate and don't have. How many of y'all would do that, right? Because when you think about these, yeah, all your money, yeah, you know, all of it. That's right. See, a lot of people. See, I'm gonna tell you something, man, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say something to everybody in this building, right? I don't know what went on in that church. I wasn't there. There's conflicting stories, you know. The way they're putting out the story, it does make the pastor look bad, right? But I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When we all die and leave this earth, you ain't taking none of that money with you. You ain't taking none of those clothes with you. You ain't taking none of those jewelry with you. You ain't taking none of that with you, right? I'm gonna tell y'all something that I've never told y'all before, right? One time, just a couple years ago, right? I was driving and I seen this brother, and he was just standing on the side of the street, basically, and you know, you could see that he has severe leg problems. His legs had swollen up like so bad it was just crazy. Like it's like he had jumbo legs, and his feet were swollen up, and he just had him out barefoot. His whole body was like that, right? So some people would just go by and pass him a couple change and this, that, and the third. And I'm not gonna tell y'all what I gave him, but I gave him a significant amount of what I had on me, just because I was just thinking, man, you know what would God want me to do in this situation? And I'm gonna tell y'all something. The blessings that I received back from showing love. I'm gonna tell y'all something that's listening to this video. The money I gave to that brother, just trying to be blessed, be a blessing to somebody else. I got that money over, I had to say, 3,000 times back within the next 4 months. It was crazy. It was crazy. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, man, that's crazy. Because I always, give money to the poor. I always give money to the less fortunate. When I see people that have an issue, I won't say that. I just do it. Just trying to be a blessing to somebody else. Because I always thank God, because I know He could have put me in a situation where I could be that, and I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so I hate when I see our people fight over money and finances and things like that, because I believe that if you got good faith, and you doing the right thing, man, the man upstairs, He gonna get back to you. You know what I'm saying? He gonna bless you, even when you don't expect to be blessed. Because see, I'm gonna tell y'all something. It was a guy named Job, right? And his faith was tested. And Job had a lot of things, man. He had all kind of riches, he had everything. And he was stripped of everything just to test that brother's faith. Just to test his faith. He was stripped of everything. And he still refused to turn his back on God. I want y'all to think about that. Now, what y'all think ended up happening to him in the end? I'll let y'all guess. What y'all think ended up happening to him in the end? Let y'all guess. All right? But being a blessing, I'm telling y'all, to other people should be something that's a priority for all of us. I'm going to tell y'all something. Even people that support my channel, they're blessings to me. And they don't even know they're blessings to other people. Because, see, like I said, I don't talk about a lot of this stuff all the time. I don't get deep into this stuff on my channel. You know what I mean? But I'm going to tell y'all something. You have to ask yourself a question, you know? And sometimes you got to have faith to say, you know what, hey, man. And people don't think like that, because people be like, they'll think about themselves. Oh, I got bills, I got this, I got that. But then I always think like, yo, this dude, he can't even think about a bill. This lady can't even think about a bill. She's on the street. You know what I'm saying? I easily could have been that could have easily been me in that situation. And imagine how humiliating it is to be in that situation and have to literally ask people for money. And I thought about something. I always thought about something, and it made me feel a way. I said, you know what, man? I thought about something. I said, it's a difference and it's a blessing when you're giving and somebody don't got to come steal it from you. See, I'm going to tell you, it take a lot. Now, some people, they just capping. Some people out here, they ask you for something and they go get some drugs or something like that. That ain't talking about them. I'm talking about like the people that's really going through it. People, like I said before, man, that you can see with your own eyes that, these people are handicapped. These people ain't got no, they ain't really got no family. They out on luck in life. They out on luck, but it's a blessing. And I always tell them that whenever I give people money, and I do it all the time. But whenever I do it, I just tell them, what I'm saying, that they're blessed. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody, cared about them, to think about them, to help them, even if it's to get along that day or to get to the next meal. You understand? Because, a lot of us been blessed with a lot of meals. A lot of us been blessed with a lot of great things, you know? So I hate to see these type of situations go on in the church, right? I hate to see, these things going on in the church with, pastors and the congregation and things like that, because it looks bad in front of all of the people, you know. Uh, but I do want to, say that I do feel like, just as a people, I think that we should be more given unto each other that don't have, that are less fortunate, and that are in bad situations, man. So I encourage you, if you pass somebody tomorrow, I mean, you sometimes you have that in your, it's just in your heart, in your spirit. You'll know, you'll feel it, like, okay, this person, they really need this. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, bro, I always think like, yo, at least this nigga didn't come put a gun in my head and try to, you know what I'm saying? And I respect it. Sometimes if I see they can move or do something, I got put a little job on them. Put a little job on them. I say, hey, dog, yeah, okay. You want this $10 right here? All right, yeah, come take these bags over here. Come help put these bags in the car, or do so. Just a little something, a little job. Just I've done that various times. Sometimes when it's the youth, I have a young kid come up to me. You know how you be at the store, you in the parking lot, young kid come up to you. You looking at him, and they ask you for some money. And I tell a young fella, and I'm looking at him, he just wants you to give it to him. I said, bro, I'm not just gonna give it to you. You gonna earn this. And I make him do about 5, 10, 15, 20 push-ups, depending on how you look. And so, and then that'll be a test sometimes, because sometimes I did it, and I tell you, by about 65% of the time, I'll say, hey man, give me 10, 15 push-ups. They'll do it. But then it'll be, some of them cats will be like, nah, they just want you to get to them. I say, nah, dog, we ain't roll like that, bro. You tripping. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see that more. And then just putting encouragement on them and stuff like that, and then just giving them a good word, a good, just, few words to go along with their day. That sometimes y'all don't know how much that helps people, and that helps people's minds to feel like, man, you know. So think about that, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling y'all this, it will come back to you. It will come back to you, right? And yes, you do have to be careful when you entertain strangers and stuff like that. I'm not saying go to the block and you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, you know, sometimes you can't be afraid to, you know, uh, to do good, man. And as long as you have a good heart doing it, and you have a good intentions doing it, you know what I'm saying? You know, boom. Now, I'm gonna say this before I leave. A lot of people, they will have issues giving money to the church and seeing the pastors ride around in Bentleys. It was a bling bling pastor, and he's arrested right now. I forget what his name is. And this dude was just blinged up. You know what I'm saying? He's coming to church in Gucci, Fendi, new Benzes, all kind of stuff. I can't remember if he even pulled up in a Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? But you got members of the congregation that's starving. See, here's the thing, right? My thoughts is when people go give money to the church, let me say this to y'all, right? I believe, me personally, that money should be used to help the members of the church. What do I mean? When people give their offerings and stuff like that to the church, I believe there should be relief plans for people who are struggling and going through things, to where they can go to the church if you need a loan, if you need some help. You understand what I'm saying? And that's because everybody was, chipping in and putting in, and then somebody gets on a bad day, and you can go to the church and then have that there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always got to go to the bank, but sometimes you can go to the church, since everybody putting that money in the church, and the church look out for the same people that come in there, and that have put seeds and blessings in the church. I think that it should be that type of situation, as well as just the building up of the community. You know what I'm saying? I think that, the churches and the people should see the money going back into the community, going back into the growth of the community, the growth of the church, the growth of, what I'm saying? The young ones, helping give them money for college. See, I think that churches should have these type of things, right? I'm telling y'all this. Funds where they giving money back to help these young ones that's in the church, you know, have money to help going towards college, going towards their education, things like that. I think like all that is very important. So I think when people look at this thing, man, I think that it should be all different types of different programs and things that are sowing seeds back into all the people that's putting in. You know what I mean? And that's just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe. Hopefully everybody having a great day and a blessed day. Y'all already know what it is. Stand 10 toes on this thing. I'm gone, y'all.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, there are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drop weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.